Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Alyssa. If you're not new here, hi. It might come not as a surprise that I need to make some changes to my budget again. It feels like I'm making changes like monthly, if not every other week or so. But in my defense, I have moved out. I'm living in an apartment. This is the first time in a few years, and it's the first time that I'm living in an apartment, paying rent, paying all of my own things, and budgeting. I've never, I'm still pretty new to budgeting. I'm new to personal finance. I was not budgeting when I was living on my own before. I was just kind of like winging it and somehow doing okay. I was paying all my bills and stuff, but I was not saving towards my future at all or just being smart. So I am being smart now, but I am still in this very like idealistic budget mindset where I'm trying to fit numbers that don't make sense. And I'm also kind of denying like future true expenses. That's what YNAB used to refer to them as. Basically like expenses that I know are coming, such as like yearly subscriptions or even just things like Christmas that you're going to spend money on and you should be setting aside or just planning to set aside money at some point during the year for. And I'm kind of like avoiding those, I guess. So I want to just, make some changes and make sure that I'm not doing that. Also, I've realized even just in the first month of living in my apartment, things like our dog, Zeke. Yeah, I've realized that $25 a month is not enough for him. I do have a Zeke like vet fund here that I also want to start saving for on a monthly basis. I currently have $500 in it, but like he, for example, threw up earlier this month and he was fine. Like he just had a treat that didn't sit well with him, but it just was like, it scared me a little bit of like, ooh, like I need more than $500 in my vet fund. So I want to put money aside on a monthly basis towards that. Plus I need money for, he's a mini, what is he? He's an Aussie doodle, but like a small one. He's very cute, but $25 a month is not enough for food and grooming. We have him like on an every 6 to 8 week grooming schedule now. That is about $100-ish a time, so $50 each. So I need to be bumping this fund up a little bit more. But anyway, just things like that I've realized, like this is not going to cut it. I'm going to have to find money from elsewhere in my budget, and I'd rather just have that money already there. So also in my previous video, I kind of made these categories based on my 4-week paycheck month. So I get paid weekly. I get paid $1,550 every week, and it comes out to $6,200 a month. And for some reason, I guess I'm just like non-committal to like completely budgeting all my money to zero. Like it just made me feel better to have a little bit of a buffer, a little bit of wiggle room for like unexpected things or overspending or whatever. But that is not how zero-based budgeting works, and it's not how YNAB like wants you to do things. I need to be budgeting for those unexpected things because they're not so unexpected. So I want to increase these amounts to equal my monthly base pay from my job. So that's going to be $6,200 in a 4-week month. And then when I get paid 5 times, I will just have extra money. These first couple two, investing, I invest weekly from each paycheck, and I pay taxes, or I set aside taxes from my paycheck each week because I'm a 1099 contractor, so I have to pay quarterly taxes. So on 5 paycheck months, these will be a little bit higher because they'll include an extra week, but I'll still have extra money from that paycheck to put towards savings goals or investing or whatever. I think in the month of March specifically, that is a 5-paycheck week or a 5-paycheck month for me. I think what I'm going to end up doing at the end of March is beefing up a couple of categories that I should probably get ahead on. Like, for example, I think utilities, I'm going to be needing more as we get into the warmer months, and I want to be prepared for that, beef that up a little bit, get ahead. And possibly like my subscriptions category, I decided, so I was budgeting just for my monthly subscriptions and then kind of like quote unquote cash flowing whenever my annual subscriptions come up. But I actually want to get more into setting aside money towards those yearly subscriptions again, since I am budgeting my monthly pay down to zero. I'm not really having like extra cash anymore. So yeah, I just have a lot less wiggle room now that I have to pay, so much in rent and other expenses that I need to cover now that I live on my own. So we're going to go through one by one. Also, if this does not interest you, you can just skip ahead to where I actually budget my money for the last week of February and make these changes in my YNAB budget. But I just need to play around and see how I want to get these all equal to $6,200 a month. So I'm not going to be touching my investing because that's $500 a week. I want to keep it that way. Taxes also $275 a week, comes out to $1,100. Like I said, obviously these are going to be a little bit more on 5-paycheck months, but that's totally fine. On 5-paycheck months, I'll just have extra money to play with, but this is what it will be on a 4-paycheck month, and that's what I want my budget to be based off of. So my first category group is food and drink, which is always a struggle, and I think a lot of us struggle with the food and drink with the rising cost of groceries. And oh my, don't even get me started on eggs. My boyfriend and I eat so many eggs, and that has honestly really thrown off my budget because we eat a lot of eggs. I don't even want to say how many eggs that we eat, but it's probably a lot more than the average family. So yeah, that's really thrown off our grocery budget, but it looks like egg prices are coming down a little bit. So that's good, but we are still being thrown off by, and dining out too, and meal kit subscription boxes. That's very new to me. We're kind of cycling through right now, getting, the discounts, the new, what do you call it? New subscriber discounts to a bunch of meal kits. I'm not sure what we're going to do moving forward once those discounts run out. I do like getting meal kits. They are expensive, but they're worth it to me because my boyfriend and I are the type that we can just eat the same thing every single day for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Different meals for each one, but the same meal for breakfast, the same meal for lunch, the same meal for dinner. And that is not so good for probably anyone, but for me, I tend to choose the cheapest, easiest meals to meal prep, and that does not involve a lot of nutritious, veggies, fruits, things like that. So where meal kits come in is it kind of expands my nutrients that I'm putting in my body. It gives me some freaking vegetables. So that's why I really like it, because I don't have the self-discipline, I guess, to go to the grocery store and buy vegetables to cook with. Maybe, it would also be nice. I think the goal also of the meal kits is to eventually, come up with some good repeat meals that both my boyfriend and I like, that we can cook on a weekly basis that include vegetables and good things for us. We don't eat slobs, but I just don't include a large variety in my diet, which is bad for my gut, my digestion. It's just a lot more helpful if I can get some freaking variety in my diet, which I have found meal kit boxes are just the easiest frictionless way for me to do that. So that's me personally. I know a lot of people get meal kit boxes because they don't have time to grocery shop, or it's just more convenient to get your groceries delivered to your door, have it all ready, not have to think about what's for dinner. That's another really nice thing, is like not having to like argue about what you want to have for dinner. Not argue, but you know what I mean. Anyway, let's get to switching up these categories. Okay, so alcohol is fine. That can be $50. Dining out, I was budgeting for this on a weekly basis, as well as groceries and meal kits. However, I want to get away from budgeting weekly because since I'm budgeting physically a month ahead now in YNAB, on a 4 paycheck month, that money could possibly be going towards a 5 paycheck month budget. And I don't want the next month's budget to be a little bit higher just because of how the weeks fall. So what I want to do is I was budgeting $50 a week here, $20 a week here, and $50 a week here. I'm just going to average it out across a monthly span instead of budgeting weekly. So $50 a week times 52 divided by 12 comes out to $225. So we're going to do that for each of dining out and meal kits. And then groceries, I actually just want to increase it to 100 because I'm just always over budget on groceries. And the reason my groceries is so low is because I cover all of the meal kits with my cards for my boyfriend and I, and then he budgets more for groceries. So a lot more of the groceries come out of his budget, and he uses YNAB too. So especially for these categories, at the end of the month, we just compare our budgets, and whoever has money in their categories can pay for certain things, if that makes sense. So that's how we divvy up our food spending. Okay. And then let's see. Gifts, that can stay at 75. Household, I was budgeting weekly $15 a week. So that comes out to $60 in a 4 paycheck month. I'll just keep that there and see if I need to shift it at the end. $60 sounds okay though. But I'll just have to change my target in YNAB to be monthly instead of weekly. And then personal care, 25 should be good. Seeing and doing, this is my entertainment category. So like when my boyfriend and I go to a hockey game, or just go to bar hopping in Nashville, go bowling, go to a concert, things like that, $100 a month. I want to keep it that way for sure. Ideally, this will build up a little bit so that I can use it for like concert tickets and stuff. But I can also use my adventures category to cover things like that. This is for travel and trips and stuff, but I would also count like a concert as an adventure. So we'll keep that. Stuff and things. This is every like physical object that I buy. So right now it's a lot of like furniture and decor and apartment organizing things. $50 a week is not enough for what I'm spending right now, but I do have an apartment fund that is very fastly dwindling, very quickly dwindling, which I do want to start contributing money towards. I think what I'll do is keep stuff and things at 50, and for my apartment, we're gonna let's do $50 a month and just see. I might have to change that, but yeah. So right now, I'm just trying to get this number to 6,200, and then keep making shifts because I know I'm gonna be like over budget and then have to cut some things. So let's keep going. Okay, supplements, 45. I'm really not buying a lot right now. I'm not buying protein powder anymore, so I'm just gonna lower this to 40, and that should be good. Zeke, we're gonna do $40 a month and see how that goes. Rent is rent. That's good. It will be increasing by $30. Right now we have a 6-month promo where we're getting free Wi-Fi through our apartment, and then it'll be $60 a month starting in like August, I think. So for now, this is okay, but yeah, come like August, I'm gonna need to increase that. Utilities. We're gonna bring this up to $115, which does throw me over budget, but we're gonna make some more changes. I definitely want this to start building up right now because I'm a little nervous going into the summer months and how that's going to look. I think also since March is a 5 paycheck month for me, and I think I'm going to put some extra in utilities to get that ahead a little bit, and then I think 115 moving forward should hopefully be good for my half of utilities. This is just for water and electric, and then my boyfriend pays half as well. Okay, essentials. Gym, that's the same amount every month. Health insurance, same amount every month. Medical, I still don't need to budget for this monthly. This is just more of a spending tracking category if I go to the doctor or something, which I do have a doctor fund in my savings. I'm not currently contributing to it on a monthly basis, but I feel fine with that for now. Phone, $30 a month. That's the same. Services and fees. Okay. This is for like random things, like if I go to the post office and ship something, but it also includes things that I know are coming up, such as my Costco annual membership, and tomorrow, March 1st, I'm going to be charged $95 for my credit card annual fee, which I was just cash flowing in the past, but I don't have as much like cash flow anymore. So for the future, I do want a buffer in this category to cover things like my Costco membership and my credit card fees and any other extra things that come up. So I'm going to start budgeting $15 a month. And yeah, I know this is going over $60 to $200, but we're going to fix it once I kind of go through all of these one by one. Subscriptions. So that's another one that I was very like idealistically budgeting. Like this is only for my monthly subscription. So my Hulu, Discovery Plus, and I pay $1 a month for my Acorns brokerage account. And I think that's it. But then I have annual memberships like my YouTube Premium, my Google Storage. I have a workout app that I use, and YNAB. So in 2024, I was just cash flowing those, but I do want to start budgeting for them on a monthly basis because I don't have as much wiggle room anymore as I did in 2024 now that I'm paying rent and have more like savings goals that I want to keep cash on hand for. So we are going to increase this to $50 a month. So this will continue rolling over each month to pay for future annual subscriptions. And again, in the month of March, at the end of the month, I will probably add a bit of a buffer, some wiggle room in here to get ahead for some of my first annual subscriptions that are coming up later this year. So I think I'm actually going to put a little asterisk for myself on that one and my utilities so that I know to add a buffer later this month with my extra paycheck. Therapy is a pretty non-negotiable, $165 for one session a month. That's just what it costs. And I don't want to change that. Okay, gas. I did lower this to $50 a month because I only need to pay for one tank of gas for myself. It's right now I can actually get by with $45. So we'll change it to $45. Yeah. Insurance and registration. This is for car insurance, registration, which 75. Yeah, well, I'm going to keep that the same because if I do end up going over, like if I don't have some wiggle room in here when my insurance comes up next October, that can come out of my car fund. I'm fine with that. So I'm going to keep it as a $75 a month. I pay for my car insurance on a 6-month basis, so I just average it out every month. So 75 should be good. Maintenance is just a spending category. I don't budget for this monthly. It again comes out of my car fund. Okay, then my banana stand savings. So adventures, I'm gonna lower this actually to $100 a month that I'm putting towards it. I already have over $2,000 in there. Plus I have $1,000 in Chase points that can be used towards flights and travel. So I think $100 should be good. We'll come back to apartment because I think I'm going to need some more than that. Compassion, that's my monthly donation category. I'm going to make a big donation of $1,200 in December, so I just save $100 for it monthly. That's a non-negotiable. Car fund. I think what I actually want to do, this might be a little controversial, but I see all of these in my banana stand. All of these savings can be used towards an emergency. And this emergency fund is more like if I basically kind of like an income replacement fund, but more like covering my cost of living for a couple of months if I don't have any paychecks coming in. So right now it has $5,000, which is a little bit more than I would need I need $2,000 a month, and I'm a month ahead already. So I have a little over 3 months of expenses covered. So I think what I want to actually do is take $1,000 from my emergency fund and move it into my car fund so that I can save less on a monthly basis towards my car fund and then replenish my emergency fund, because I do want my emergency fund to be a little bit bigger, but I have over like $20,000 between all of these categories that can be used for an emergency. Like obviously if I am not getting any income, I can use my travel fund towards an emergency, So, or like my car fund, I don't need to be worrying about buying a new car if I'm not having any income coming in and I need to pay my rent, So I think that's what I'm going to do. And the reason I'm doing that is because I want my car fund to be at $10,000 by the end of this year. And it's currently, I started the year at $7,000. So it's currently at $7,500, I think. So if I got it up to $8,500, then the rest of the year I would only need to contribute $150 towards my car fund. And then I could do like $50 a month going back towards my emergency fund. And then I have a little bit more wiggle room in my budget. Okay, so let's increase my apartment to $70 a month. Because my apartment fund is like it's already below $1,000 and it has me like freaking out a little bit. We are definitely not done furnishing our apartment. My boyfriend and I kind of both started with zero. He was living in like a fully furnished place before that. He couldn't bring much of anything as far as furniture to this place. And then I also did not have my own furniture from, like, I got rid of it when I moved in with my parents a few years ago. So we're pretty much both starting with zero. So our funds have been quickly dwindling, but we did get a lot of the big things that we needed, like a couch, bed, desks, things like that. So I think our spending should be slowing down a little bit, but we do still have some more things that we need to get. And also I want money on hand to get like, decor and things and make the house look nice. So $70 a month of saving towards that. It still doesn't feel like enough right now, but I do also have my stuff and things. So that's like $120 a month between the two of them. And then I also want to be putting away $25 a month for Zeke to go to the vet. I want that to be building up on a monthly basis. Then household, let's just take $10 from that. And then we have a zero-based budget of $6,200 a month that I feel better about. I still feel like I'm probably going to be making some shifts, but that is a little bit more towards like the realistic side. I'm now budgeting for future annual subscription charges, future services and fees, future vet visits, future apartment spending. I'm feeling good about that. So let's go ahead and hop over to my budget and make these changes in YNAB. Okay, hi, we're back on the YNAB side of things where things are looking crazy. I need to fix a lot of things before the month rolls over tomorrow. I do have a paycheck and some extra income to assign out, and then I'm going to be making the changes to my budget that I just discussed in my spreadsheet. So first, that income is my paycheck, and then $71.48 of extra income, which will go towards investing because I am investing all of my extra income that I make outside of my job this year. So $46.48 was from credit card cash back, and then $25 was a cash out from my health insurance. They do like a points reward system, so every couple of months or so I can cash out. So that comes out to, I do $500 a week, and it just auto comes out, so I'm always overspent like by the time I do these budgeting videos. But I budget for $500 a week from each paycheck, and then I'm doing $71.48 extra towards investing. Okay, and then I also budget weekly from each paycheck towards my taxes because I'm a 1099 contractor. So that comes out to $1,100 total in the month. So now I'm all good for February there, but I still need to clean up February, which I'm not sure what the best way to do this is. As long as I'm not overspent in any bank accounts, which the only overspending in a bank account that I was my investing. So now when I go to March, I should have, I have my full ready to assign instead of it accounting for covering the overspending from February. So I think what I'll go ahead and do is I'll go ahead and finish out March and make all of the budget changes that I made and see what I can cover. And then if I have any money left over, I can go ahead and cover my overspending in February. Otherwise, I'm probably just going to have to cover it with money that I have currently sitting in my budget, which is fine. So we'll go ahead and go to March. And so we'll finish out my $50 for alcohol. That is fine. Dining out, we're switching this to monthly. Set aside, yes. 50. No, it's going to be $225. Save that, and we can go ahead and finish that. Groceries, we're changing to $100 monthly. And then meal kits, changing that to a monthly target, $225. And we can cover that. Okay. That looks good. I've got $600 total towards my food and drink. That sounds lovely. Okay, gifts is good. Household, we are changing this one to a monthly target, and that's $50. Perfect. Personal care, that's staying the same. Seeing and doing, staying the same. Stuff, yes, all these are good. I already switched my supplements. This was $45. I switched it to $40 already because I was playing around with my budget before I decided to make that video of my, doing everything in Excel. I changed a couple of these. So I also already changed my utilities category to ask for $115. So that's good there. And then I need to, I already increased my Zeke fund, that's our dog, to $40 a month. So that all looks good. And then I'm going to come back to my services and fees. I need to cover this because one of my credit cards has an annual fee of $95 that I need to pay tomorrow. So we'll see what I have left over to cover that, as well as my overspending from February. And I'll come back to that. I also need to adjust this target because I'm now going to be budgeting some money towards this category every month because I wasn't previously, but we will come back to that at the end. Subscriptions, I already changed this as well before the video. So I'm now budgeting $50 a month to include money towards my annual subscriptions. Therapy's good. Gas, I'm now budgeting $45 a month. And yeah, refill up to is fine. Well, let's do set aside because I think that would just work better with physically budgeting a month ahead. I think that makes more sense. And then we can go ahead and send $5 back to ready to assign. Insurance and registration, that's good, that's good. Okay, adventures, I'm switching to budgeting $100 a month, but I think I'm actually gonna make that shift in April. I do want to do $125 this month for March to get it up to $2,500. Then moving forward, we will do $100 a month. That looks good. Okay, apartment. We are doing a $70 a month target. And we'll go ahead and we'll leave that for a sec. We'll come back to it. I'm not sure how much money I'm going to have left over to do everything. Okay, and then I'm just going to skip down to... Okay, this is going to be so confusing, especially if you did not just watch my Excel portion. But basically, I'm going to be moving $1,000 from my general emergency fund into my car fund. And I'm doing that in February just to make it nice and neat and already done in March. So the reason I'm doing that is because my emergency fund, so this still covers 2 months of expenses for me should I not have income for a few months. So plus I'm a month ahead. So I have 3 months of emergency expenses covered. So it covers rent, obviously not things like dining out or like buying things for the apartment, it's the essentials. It'll get me surviving for 3 months, and that is good. I do eventually want to build this up a little bit more, but like I explained previously, all of this is all what I see as one big emergency fund. Obviously, if I lost my job and I was having trouble getting a job, and I went through all of my living expenses, like obviously I have a tech replacement fund that I can use. I can use my car fund. Obviously I'm not going to be traveling. So I see all of this $17,000 as like, I don't see it as my emergency fund. That's not the right way to put it. But in the event of a true emergency, all of this money is available to me. So that is what I'm doing there. And then I'm going to be creating a target on my emergency fund to contribute. I'm going to just slowly refill this back up. And I just want to get in the habit of contributing to it monthly just to build it up over time. I don't know what the ultimate goal would be, maybe $10,000, but we will just see where that takes us. Okay, so let's go ahead and see what it looks like to contribute to that. I need to cover my monthly donation. And then my car fund is now going to be $150 a month that I contribute, and that will get me up to the $10,000 by the end of the year. So we'll go ahead and do that. Okay, I'm not gonna have, that's fine. I can use some of my extra paycheck in March to contribute to this apartment fund and get that going. And let's see. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put all of this towards my services and fees. And then obviously I'm gonna need to cover this on March 1st. which I guess it makes sense to just go ahead and cover it now. But with what? Okay, let's go ahead and do the 95 that I need. So now I'm overspent a little bit. I also need to edit this target to set aside $15 a month. There we go. And do I want it to start in March? I guess that would be the responsible thing to do. Oh, but I already did it in March. Okay, that's fine. Because also what I discussed is in March, I'm getting paid 5 times. So that extra 5th paycheck, I will probably add a buffer to this services and fees category, as well as my utilities, as well as my, not supplements, my subscriptions category to get me ahead for those annual subscriptions that are coming up that I haven't currently saved for. Okay, so I do need to cover this overspending, which I will just go ahead and take that out of dining out. And then I'll just refill that again with my extra money that I'm going to be making in March. Then by the end of March, everything is looking fine and dandy moving forward. Yeah. Okay. Now for February, I need to clean this mess up. Okay. I think what I'm going to do is cover groceries with supplements. I don't need that. And then meal kits. Some of you probably saw this coming. I played with fire and I had HelloFresh and Dinnerly discounts going, and I fudged up and I forgot to pause my Dinnerly subscription while we were doing the HelloFresh trial. So I got charged for 2 boxes in 1 week, and now I'm overspent. And now we have 2 boxes that are coming next week, which, yeah. I played dumb games and I won a done prize, basically. I should have seen it coming, but yeah, I will be more diligent moving forward that I don't make such silly mistakes, but it is what it is. I will go ahead and just cover this with the extra money. I have some extra money in the stuff and things category because, believe it or not, this is a return that I got back from Amazon for pillow covers for our couch. I cannot figure out like what color throw pillows to do for our couch, like colors that all go well together. So I basically bought $100 worth over the past couple weeks, and I sent them all back because they're not working, because I'm really bad at picking out colors apparently. So anyway, I'm just gonna cover this with that, and that's fine. And then I also need to just temporarily, this reimbursements, it is my boyfriend's share of a couple of things that we bought for the apartment, as well as our first water bill. And he sent me the money, but I'm not going to receive it until probably like Monday or Tuesday. So that will be in March. And I mean, I could probably just do a fake transaction to make it look like it came in February, but I'm just going to cover it now with my apartment fund. And then when that comes through in March, I'll just replenish my apartment fund. And then so I opened a new credit card and I got a $250 bonus that came through as a statement credit. And I don't count that as income. I don't put it in ready to assign, like straight into ready to assign as income, because I don't want it on my reports as income, because it's not income. It is offsetting my expenses by $250 since it's a statement credit. It didn't go into my bank account. Also, there was an extra $368 from another statement credit from a different credit card. But basically, so this year, if you know what, if you watch my videos, I have some financial goals. And one of my goals is to invest $45,000. And I'm working towards that by investing extra income that I make outside of my job. But I don't see this as extra income. Like I said, I see it as an offset of my expenses. And since I used this credit card for mainly apartment things, since I like desperately want more money in my apartment fund because it's very quickly dwindling. As you can see, almost $3,000 this month covered our expenses. And obviously, I just used over $200 to cover reimbursements that I'm going to be getting back from my boyfriend next month. But basically, all that being said, I want to just put this into my apartment fund instead of in investing. Apartment. Okay. And then when my boyfriend reimburses me back, which, like I said, it's already being wired over, but it's just not here yet. It'll be here in March. Then it'll get back up to $1,000, and that would just make me feel better moving forward to have more money to finish out our townhouse. But yeah, that's my little spiel on my statement credits. I don't see statement credits as extra income. They are offsetting expenses. So I kind of use them elsewhere in my budget, and that's how I want to use that. I could put it towards investing. It's not like it's not allowed to be invested. It's just that I am wanting more money in my apartment fund right now. That is like one of my top priorities, and kind of like I have my attention on this just because it's dwindling so quickly and we're not done yet. So yeah, that's what I want to do with that. And if at the end of the year I have a lot of leftover money in my apartment fund, I can go ahead and invest it then. But I just don't want to shave it off, $250 right now just to put into investments when I like desperately want some more money in my apartment fund for future expenses. So a little bit of a chaotic video. Thank you so much if you stuck around this long. I will be back shortly because I get paid this weekend for to finish out my March budget, and then I will be able to also start budgeting into April with those new targets. So yeah, thanks again so much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you liked the video, and I will catch you shortly, hopefully, in my first Budget With Me in March video. All right, have a good one, guys. Bye.